For me, the decision to fire General Chiwenga is not so far from being made in the nation of Zimbabwe. Let us hear what Themba Mliswa had to say.
Icho, ndicho icho. Mabviravira times 2. I've come to you once again with an expose on the corrupt activities which is being done, alleged corrupt activities being done between the Vice President, retired General Chiwenga, and his church, the Roman Catholic, in Zimbabwe. And I hope that the Pope is listening to this. I've never known of a church which is corrupt or a church which exposes the Vice President. It's either the two. It's either it is the Vice President, Lieutenant General retired Chiwenga, or the Roman Catholic of Zimbabwe, the diocese, which is leading corruption. The corruption is in this way. 2016, money was paid by 300 people who had bought land in an area called St. Martin's. That's opposite the One Commando Barracks, just boundary with the Catholic University of Zimbabwe, which again has encroached into council land. That's a story for another day. But what has happened is that in 2019, they paid $12,000. They paid another $5,000, okay, to add to the 12,000, which means they became the owners of that land. In no time, the Roman Catholic Church of Zimbabwe approached the office of the Vice President, retired General Chiwenga, who is a Roman Catholic person, as we know. That's the church he belongs to take over the residents in that area who had built their homes. I'm talking about building their homes, a house from ground to the bottom, and for them, as the Roman Catholic, to have a hotel put there, a hospital put there, and a pharmaceutical company. This is land which has already been occupied by 300 residents who have paid 1.6. Okay, and how then do you expect them to move away from the land which they built their houses? The Roman Catholic is a church of the people, is a church of God. How can you be so cruel and evil, if that's the case, to occupy land which people have built their houses on, using the office of the Vice President, Lieutenant General, retired General Chiwenga? I say this because it's time that we expose all this rot. A lot has happened. I'll also expose the land which is also taking over in Mash Central, farm kwa Msipa. The 90 hectares which is there, he has taken it. Msipa had already allocated this land to people, had been given the right subdivision permits, and now he takes over. He took the money, he has to compensate the people. Not only that, but why are we allowing our leaders to do this? And why is the church, the Roman Catholic Church, doing this to the people? And some of these people who are residents are part of the Roman Catholic Church. Tomorrow, on Saturday, will be showing you the evidence that is there. I deal with evidence, I don't deal with allegations, and it's up to you as a people to talk. What I'm basically saying is that if this can happen to 300 people, how many more will it happen to? We need to stop corruption. We need to stop the abuse of corruption. I stand here as the Vice President for the African Parliamentary Network Against Corruption, and I stand here as the chairman of the Southern African Parliamentary Network Against Corruption, where we say SADC is united against the fight for corruption. SADC is united against the fight for corruption. And because of that, I speak from those two platforms. I want you to follow the facts and to say, these people, innocent Zimbabweans, how can they be removed from the place that they're on? Council has been told to do it, and council, as much as their council, are under pressure to do it because they are fearful of the office of the retired General Vice President Chiwenga. Should we live in a world and a country where we fear our leaders instead of us approaching our leaders to be able to assist us? I want us to introspect on this, and I leave it to you. And this way, Makua, I'm not against the general, I'm against corruption. Icho ndicho, ndicho icho.
So these are the allegations which are being raised by Themba Mliswa on General Chiwenga. And these are not just mere allegations. It's something which is very, very complex. But we need to look at whatever which is happening. You know, the key dynamics at play right now is that Mliswa is actually confronting two things. Remember, in 2017, the Roman Catholic was very, very influential when it comes to the removal of Robert Mugabe from power. The Roman Catholic was at the center of everything. There was Reverend Father Mkonori, who was mediator between the military and Robert Mugabe. People could pass by or pass through him. So what is happening right now is the Catholic Church, remember the Catholic bishops, their crime is to seem to be backing General Chiwenga. They've confronted the government of Emmerson Mnangagwa several times. They've refused to be bought. They've refused to be used. And this is the case. This is the whole issue. And remember, at a certain point in time, Themba Mliswa comes, he's saying that VP Chiwenga, being a vice president, is serving at the mercy of the president and is not that powerful. And he's coming to contradict himself, and he's saying that he's actually using his influence as the VP to abuse or to cause certain pieces of land to be grabbed from some people. Okay. What is stopping Emmerson Mnangagwa from simply exercising his functions and his power as the president of Zimbabwe and make sure that the constitution is followed to the letter? Because Mliswa is always saying General Chiwenga was appointed by Mnangagwa, he serves at the mercy of Mnangagwa. How can Mnangagwa be overpowered by somebody who is serving at his mercy? That is a very important question, a very pertinent question. So this is something, you know, which Themba Mliswa will need to come and give more flesh and more details. And I believe that these allegations which are being raised against the general, they are nothing but just a way of trying to silence the genuine voice of those who are attacking corruption, of those who are anti-corruption, of those who want corruption to be stopped at all costs. Yes, this is my own understanding and my own view. So it's very sad. But the key dynamics at play are that institutional backing and power base is what will prevail to the last. Does Mnangagwa have a full institutional backing and a power base? Mnangagwa is using his office as the incumbent and is the president and the leader of ZANU-PF, which means he can control state media, security organs, as well as key institutions, the judiciary. Vice President Chiwenga does have very strong military credentials, and he can have a parallel power base in the security sector and veterans network, and also including within the judiciary. So when we are looking at whatever which is happening, the accusations of corruption, abuse of office, or constitutional overreach, Mnangagwa's position is the head of state. You know, it means that he must respond effectively if the General Chiwenga is corrupt. We do not want to see Themba Mliswa running around like a headless chicken. We need to see Mnangagwa responding accordingly and in full respect of the constitution. So, you know, the same way things were raised against Emmerson Mnangagwa towards the 2017 coup, the same things will be raised against General Chiwenga, and it won't change anything much unless bold decisions are made against him. So if They feel that he is corrupt, there is enough evidence, they must simply act, they must not continue to talk. That is how I see this. So, the other question is, where is Themba Mliswa? Is he back to Zimbabwe or is he still in hiding? If he's not yet back to Zimbabwe, why is he still in hiding? Why is he not coming back home? So it might be a sign in general vanepa vakatsika and vanepa vakabata. So Mnangagwa will definitely try to portray himself as the rightful leader who is defending national interests. And we have seen Themba Mliswa attacking the general in the case of the Chinese. So Zurunzi ma China, that general, ma Catholics, that general, and both of them, they are corrupt and they've caused this economy to collapse somewhere. But where is Mnangagwa as the principal leader? Where is Mnangagwa as the president? So we wait to see what happens. But whatever it is, very, very interesting things and developments are happening. This is what Themba Mliswa had to say about General Chiwenga and the Catholics. We wait to see how everything ends. But my own view is we are not so far from a point where General Chiwenga is going to be fired. So I just want to acknowledge those who came. Jim James says, whatever you say, we don't give a shit. Knowledge, thank you very much as well for the contribution. Tendai says, okay, so these are the contributions we have. Thank you, everybody who is giving contributions live from Facebook or from YouTube. And I love you all, and thank you very much for the support you've been offering to us on Africa and Beyond television network. So our WhatsApp number is currently not working. And for those who want to get in touch with us, you are free to do so via our email address. So let me type our email address so that for those who want to get in touch with us, you can actually do so. We had a challenge with our WhatsApp, but our email is actually working and it's still working. So you can get in touch to us through our email for the meantime. So that is the email which is right there on the screen. I hope and believe we'll be able to interact more. We'll be able to continue to shape the things which are happening in the nation of Zimbabwe politically or otherwise. So this is it. This is what we have for you. And let us meet in other episodes as well as other